Hail and Magic Kingdom, there is new teaser for Pass of Exile 2 newest season. Does this mean we will get Druid and Act 5? Let's solve it. I want to start video with quote from Jonathan Rogers. In a recent exclusive Chinese POE 2 development interview, Jonathan Rogers stated that one of the main problems that we have right now is that we have to play through the game twice in a row. That's definitely not helping having cruel difficulty. So once we remove that, it will improve things a lot, and that might be sooner than you think. It was just a week ago, around it, and newest season 0.3 will start in 3 weeks. Right now we get first teaser. I guess there will be next one in the next week, and then we will get full patch notes, or at least like information what actually will be in the season. While this image here can be just a red herring to mess us up while we're waiting for newest update, I want you to read closely header of this Reddit post posted by Natalia GGG, basically a member of GGG team who's developing Pass of Exile 2, recovered from a long buried library in the ruins of Oriot. What does this mean? This means someone in Oriot got these messages and trying to kind of understand what does these symbols mean. And that's probably one of the biggest hints that we will get not one, but maybe all acts we deserve. Because if you ever played Pass of Exile 1, you know that Act 5 is actually act where you go into Oriot. Yeah, that's the act that have this awesome level, this ancient city, and this probably makes lots of sense, because Oriot is tied a little bit to Kitava, and Kitava one of the most recent subclasses in Pass of Exile 2. And it would be really amazing to get newest act. It's definitely pretty boring to play through 3 acts and then replay them on cruel difficulty. And since no one actually believes in GGG ability to give us full release 1.0 this year, how they promised actually, basically no one believes, as far as I know, what community talks about, I think there is a slight chance. Probably actually acts almost finished, and they just polishing things up, finishing the story plots and stuff like that. So maybe, just maybe, we will have Act 4 and Act 5 at the same time in newest release. This means probably we won't have Act 6, but still, they can adjust like difficulty curve, experience curve, and give us a little bit more experience in Act 5, maybe make it a little bit larger or with some like ascension trial, and with this content it will be enough to hit level 60 plus after beating all 5 acts. This means we can go straight to maps at level like 61, it's enough to start the mapping and endgame content, and it will be just great. Here's another theory from Reddit, I really like it. So the guy named Kivjitas writes, I think those are tarot cards, arcanas, and nodes are hint. We have the Fool that symbolize beginning, the Hermit which symbolize isolation and descent, the Well basically, the Wheel of Fortune that symbolize fate, cycle, seasons of dash, the Sun representing by the Kin, and Empress that symbolize birth. And that's another hint. Divination cards were hinted before. It actually was hinted like in that Japanese interview also, if I'm not mistaken, that we will get divination cards soon. Also, on this Gamescom, GGG hosts an event, and it will be a boss rush event at PAX West. Basically, if you're able to defeat some bosses, you will probably get some prizes and also get collaboration in divination cards, or maybe in some race events they got prizes to collaborate on divination cards. So this means probably we will have these divination cards in this update also. Maybe, but again, how it feels guessing what will be in 0.3. Oh my goodness, that's really as good as this quote. Guys, after waiting till my meds were off, it's obviously fishing. Fishing ends in winter, then begins again afterwards. Well, has water, fish are lives in water. What does kin? It means obviously king carp. Oh jeez, that's just glorious idea. But now let's see what is my solution. So we get kinda guessing, probably from Alba. Like, is this start, It's definitely something like start probably behind, but then she said it's like beginning, like something begins. Then unknown symbols, then we get well, kin, winter, and birth. But if you take a closer look, we actually get begin, and there is one more, begin. Basically exactly the same symbol over here. We got birth, and then we got birth again, and also got well with a question mark over here. You know why? Because here's my theory. If we try to read the stuff from left to right, we will see that something begins, then like maybe a war happens, or like some struggles, definitely look like struggles, that leads to well, or probably it's like a pause. Let me pull this stuff up. So basically it looks like here's the path that leads to a well, as you can see. Now, a little step about well. Well is actually probably is just hint for Trial of Ascension. The new Trial of Ascension will probably be in a well where you need to defeat few bosses, stuff like that, but I can't confirm it and I don't see it over here. I see again this symbol, that it looks exactly like this one, but a little bit mirrored. So they kinda will be the same if you take this side and drag it over here and flip it. So this symbol and this is flipped. They nearby, and that's big like arrow down. One big arrow down, where over here we got two big arrows up that symbolize kin, probably kin, or noble, or highborn. So someone really cool and big. And after something begins, then it went to well, then kinda kin or highborn develops in the well. And again, in my opinion, these two symbols, like this one, which is like a well, is completely the same as this, but it just turned upside down, so the king can go inside, and it definitely looks like the king going inside the well. Then, since this symbol is birth, basically like beginning of life, we got the same over here, so probably like few dudes coming near a well, then some of them who is highborn goes inside the well, and he burn, but only after winter. After winter it begins, because this is a beginning, something that starts, and what starts? The birth, life begins basically. All of this can make some sense, and it could actually point a little bit at our new class, Druid, of course. Basically something begins with maybe like 4 elements, like nature, fire, lightning, water, something like this. Then all they assembles in one single person, some high-born, king, nobleman. It takes some power from the well, and the cycle of life, birth, winter, beginning, another birth, stuff like that, kinda like druidic theme. So this kinda can point at druid, in my opinion. But again, only if you read it from left to right. But what if we try to read it from right to left? That's where the cool stuff kinda begins. That's what we got on Reddit, again. And mostly it's the same stuff I already told you. There's extra words for this part. It's like chasm, pit, so it's maybe not well. Some like big pit. Again, it's like ascension, but let's try to read it from right to left. And it will start to make a lot more sense, probably that tied to story of Path of Exile 2. So we got something like Genesis, new, basically birth. Life begins. Birth begins life, and it all starts from winter. Yeah, because in winter everything is cold, life is just starting to develop, and then it finally arises. It rises, the king comes from the winter, and then he goes with a lot of like people probably, turns everyone away and go inside of pit. He struggles, he trying to stay sane, stay alone. Again, these symbols to me looks like struggles, stuff like that. And then he finally starts a new beginning. So this kind of makes a little bit more sense. Birth begins with winter, well births the king, from the well he rises, from the fall he ascends, and so begins again. Some like poetic Path of Exile stuff. But in my opinion, it can be tied also with Path of Exile story a little bit. Just look over here. So we got some like burst of summon. And if you played Path of Exile 2, you already know that basically we're trying to find where big beast born and destroys a beast, while some like crazy lady tries to bring this beast to life, something like this. So probably a beast is born somewhere and it begins in winter, and winter is kind of like, I would say, Clearfell theme, because Clearfell is like winter town. We got Ice King, Ice Winter Beast, something like this. But at this point, Beast is not born yet, as far as I can understand. The Beast is kind of staying still, he's unconscious, and we're just chasing that lady. Now, the next birth begins, probably in some like deserted area, where the highborn noble king, basically king of sands, which is basically our Act 2, glorious and scariest boss. Yeah, this probably is Act 2 boss. Then we're going to Act 3. Act 3 is a company of heroes, that actually struggles, and then they descend into well, into pit. And this pit is underground area of Temple of Copec, basically this area where you go, you travel through time, and after traveling through time, you find out that Doriani is kind of good guy, so he's actually trying to stop this madness also. And this can point us to the next chapter, because again, after you descend into well, after struggles a little bit, we will get to chapter 4, which will be beginning again. And what does it mean? It means that again we get cycle of life, we get this cycle of time, spiral of time, call it however you like. Basically everything starts over here, we go through the time, and then we will roll back. So probably they kinda hitting us that maybe while cruel difficulty is a little bit cruel, maybe it will have some sense later on. They will add more bosses, they will add different timeline, and probably we will go from Act 1 to Act 2 to Act 3, then to Act 4. But Act 4 will begin as a new chapter, and we will come back in time to defeat the beast in past. So maybe there will be no new like crazy locations, but it will be changed locations in Act like 1, 2, and 3, which will be our Act 5, and they will be condensed together. And then we will go into Act 6, which is mystery right now. Or maybe all this like stuff over here, like, well, you know, when the stuff begins, it begins in winter. Yeah, in winter we will burn 1.0 full release. That's what I think. Probably this is. Also, I like this Reddit post. It's a meme, of course, but still, I like how this person actually puts this stuff up. The top row is Pass of Exile 1. It's Act 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, again, Act 5 is a well in Oriat territory, then Act 6, and then Act 7 to 10, like from these 4 rows, it's all Act 7 to 10. And this is Pass of Exile 2. We got Noble, King, Highborn, basically Count Gionor. That's Act 1, basically. Act 2, we got this like person in well, I don't know why it's Act 2, but anyway, that's Act 3. So this means Act 4 will be winter themed, and it's definitely not true as far as I understand, because Act 4 will be like Goblin territory, Trials of Ascension, gladiator battles, something like this, like Goblin gladiators battles, of course. And Act 5 back to the beach. Why not to back to the beginning? And Act 6 will be something new. Anyway, what I really want from the new patch is good trading, like insta trading. I want at least one new act, and probably one new class will be great. My question is for you: what do you think will be in this new update in 0.3? What are you actually waiting for? And how would you solve this puzzle? There will be lots of cool content for Pass of Exile 0.3 on its release, so make sure to subscribe and see you in the next videos.